Hey everybody, thanks for wandering back out to the Digital Hermitage. I'm the Hermit, you can call me Hiccup, and this is my buddy Timely Crow. Thanks again for joining us for the Modheim Series, guys. Today I thought we'd kick back a little bit. We've had a request. I thought we'd talk about our favorite mods in the series so far. So we're going to bring you our top 10 favorite mods today. They're not in any particular order. This is just 10 of our favorites, 10 that we really felt like added to the game. When I was thinking about it, I was thinking, what mods would I like to see included in the main game? Like, what would be good enough to stick around? What brought me the best experience? That's what I was thinking about going through this list, trying to compile it for you guys. What about you, Timely?
Yeah, some of that, there are some mods that the mod creators have done a great job of making. They kept the original game's vision in mind. I think the feel. And then there are my favorite part of playing on the PC is just being able to customize and play however you like, whether you want to keep in line with the original game or just go bonkers, just do a bunch of wild stuff. So I'm a mix and match. I remember I really liked playing through Valheim Vanilla. Now playing through it again with mods, there's some that I'm like, oh, this feels like it fits, and then there are others where I'm like, okay, this is off the rails, but I still enjoy it.
Right, yeah, no, there's definitely a lot. There's a lot of options. There's a lot to offer. There's a lot to do, and we still have a lot to discover. But yeah, no, definitely. There are a lot that really feel like they were seamlessly made into the game. Backpacks come to mind. I really like the backpacks. I tweak it, like I said in the episode before when we were talking about it. But I love their look. I love the function. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. Let's zoom out. Yeah. I love these backpacks. I think that really feels like it fits in the game. It really does feel pretty seamless.
Yeah, which some of these mods we may or may not play with. Sometimes they don't quite get the visual aesthetic down, but Valheim at first glance you might think that it has like dated graphics, but then you see light shafts coming through trees, and you're like, oh, this, you wouldn't see this in an N64 game. But anyway, the developer, the creator of this backpack, you can tell from the textures that they put a lot of work into keeping that backpack up. It doesn't break the aesthetic of the game.
Yeah, no, it really does. It seems to work and fit with everything. I feel like that's a common misconception nowadays. People look at a game and they're like, oh, bad graphics. And I just feel like this is the wrong time for that. Games have such a custom aesthetic nowadays and a feel that graphics are a choice at this point. I love the way Valheim looks. I love this. It is, if it, you want to call it a 64 game? Well, this is the most beautiful 64 game I have ever played.
I loved the 64.
How could you not, though? Like, it was such it was a turning point in gaming, It was. I wasn't even a big Nintendo kid growing up. I grew up on the TurboGrafx. How many of you know what a TurboGrafx is? Let me know in the comments. Please do that. But no, the 64 was a great, Smash Bros, Quest 64. I played a game called Chameleon. I mean, there were a lot of amazing games. Turok, I was a huge Turok fan too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny, people are going to think that we're boomers or something, and we're way younger than boomers.
I know. I'm retro. I'm a little. It's terrible. Speaking of aesthetic, what are we wearing? We're wearing some sage robes.
Oh yeah. So these aren't really. I guess these aren't really making it into our top 10. But
let's go inside. It's getting a little dark out here.
A little dark out here. But for the pop villages, the populated villages that spawns those NPCs that you saw in one of the previous episodes. They gotta wear clothes, and they're not all warriors. So one of the mods it's called Sage Robes. Gives you tunics. Hiccup's wearing a tunic. I'm wearing a robe. I thought it looked nice as more of you're just hanging around. We're not always in full battle gear. We're you're at home. You're in your comfortable clothes.
Right. Yeah. No, we're just relaxing, and that's what we're gonna do today, guys. We're just gonna relax. We're gonna take a look around at some of our favorite mods. We'll show and talk about them and what we love about them, and we just wanted to share that with you. So I hope you're interested. Let's get to it. Actually, you know what? Let's go sleep real quick because it's nighttime, and
Yeah.
I don't want to go around this in the dark. All right. Oh wow, look at this. Timely came back and fixed a lot of these places up, guys. We've got some nice paths and nice places now.
Perfect for Ike Theater to ruin.
I need to get on and help out with that more, but Guys, we came back to Eikthyr because we wanted to talk about Valheim Legends first. Valheim Legends has been an awesome experience. I really truly feel like these classes, they don't overpower you. Everything is just useful in its own way, and some of them could probably be, I don't know, some of them can be more helpful than others in certain areas and certain things. But I don't know. I feel like they're pretty well balanced. They feel fun, especially for the difficulty that we've got going in the game. But I just like the different interaction. I like the spells. I like right now I'm a druid, guys. I can call up the vines that the elder casts.
Yeah.
I saw one shoot. I guess that's all we're gonna get. But
Yeah, I think as you level up, so it adds new. If you go into your open up your skills menu, it adds new skills into the game that you have to level up, and they're like think of your like a Skyrim stat or something.
right,
Um,
yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
much what they are. They look
yeah, and as you level those up, your skills get better. Those vines, it shoots out more vines, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably want to commit. I've been jumping around. I like showing them off, and I like changing up my playstyle. And I don't know. I haven't felt the need to commit. I like having the different options and playstyles. But yeah, let's show off a class or two real quick.
Yeah, and y'all have seen the Berserker. I did right now I've used my Berserk skill. My health is draining, and let me see, there it goes. I'm getting hurt, but I move faster. My stamina regens faster. Actually, I don't think my abilities. I'm not wasting any stamina. There you go. Cool.
Hmm.
But then I can also you get this dash. This dash deals damage on the way. Um, so it's great for escaping, initiating, plowing through a bunch of enemies. But there's little passives with most of the classes where with a berserker you deal extra, like I think 10% extra damage if you're wielding a two-handed weapon, which really complements the things like the battle axe, the ad gear. And as your health gets lower with the berserker, you deal more damage. You deal more damage comparative to your missing health. Yeah.
So yeah, that berserker class, that's pretty versatile. I like that. That gives you a lot of options, a lot of mobility.
Yeah, I would recommend it as a really as a beginner class. There's a lot of melee in this game, and it just complements the base of the game. You know a lot of stamina management and movement, so it's yeah, it's a good beginner class. But I have just a class fantasy for I wanted the two-handed weapon like this, like the battle axe. I wanted to use it so much, and I feel like the berserker class really allows me to live that out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's show off the mage. Is that a little? Would you call that a more advanced class?
Yeah, it's different. It's there because Valheim doesn't have outside of the sacrifices like Eikthyr bonuses and whatnot. There's not a lot of magic in the game.
Right.
So I'll go up to the stone. I have some coal here and sacrifice it. Instead of buffing your physical abilities, this is it's all just magic. I've got a Frost Nova. This is the least flashy ability. Um,
Yep, just that little bubble of frost damage.
yeah, pushes enemies away, freezes them. It's a good defensive ability since you. I don't know that you're a little bit squishier, but I guess you turn into more of a battle mage. But then there's things like this. You get a fireball.
Nice.
Got a pretty long cooldown. You're not going to be firing those off.
I haven't played the
Um,
mage, but am I right in assuming it probably costs a little more stamina to cast these spells? It's probably a little give and take that
oh
way,
yeah,
maybe, possibly.
yeah. Since there's no yeah, with stamina use, there's no mana bar. I think there are some mods that give you a mana bar, but just straight Valheim Legends, it's all stamina based. So you can't. You've got to manage. If you're running around, you're dodging, and then casting fireball, you're going to be out of stamina pretty quickly.
Right.
And then the final and flashiest ability, which can take up all your stamina if you want to. Um, let's see. Here it comes.
Oh yeah, meteor.
Is
That's awesome.
Meteor, yeah. Which if you so that has a 3-minute cooldown, and you can channel it. You can just hold it. That's why two meteors came down.
Nice. And the more stamina, I'm assuming the more you can channel.
Oh yeah, yep. So, which with the new food system promotes you building stamina instead of food or instead of health. So, you are I guess you are squishier. Yeah, if you want to use your abilities more.
That's true. I do love the Hearth and Home food balancing because it does. It makes it a little more role play, a little more class. Not class based per se, but you know, like yeah, do you want to tank a little more? For me, I like to build a little more stamina when I go like to places like the mountain where I need more archery skills.
Oh yeah.
You know, I go for 2, stamina boosts. But yeah, guys, that's Valheim Legends. Valheim Legends, I've had a lot of fun with it. I like the classes. I think they add a lot, especially in a co-op play. I'm not saying they wouldn't be fun for a solo play, especially if you really want to like grab one class in particular and level it up and become that. I think that would be a lot of fun. Valheim Legends, it adds a little flavor, a lot of fun.
Something I'm doing on the side is I'm just doing I've got a world for my a separate berserker character, a world for a separate duelist mage. You know, like you can just it's you just do a playthrough of the game with each class, and it just adds so much that really draws out your playtime.
Yeah, but it gives you a really unique experience each time. You'll be leaning toward different weapons, different play styles. I like that.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get some sleep and we'll go talk about our next mod on the list. All right, guys, next on our list is the Raft mod. Of course, Valheim Raft. I mean, I really love the Raft mod. I think it's just provides a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity and a lot of really fun, like creative, fun, and memorable moments.
Yeah, it's in the in the spirit of like this game does have some great building mechanics to it, and so being able to go further with that and say I want to the carve is great, the longship, they both have like a great Viking feel to them. I like the sailing mechanics, but carrying over with being able to build whatever hut you want, whatever castle you want. Now you can do whatever boat you want.
Yeah, I think it adds a lot, and it's really, it's costly. Like, this wasn't cheap to make. This took some effort, it was a lot of time. It was a lot of effort, and this thing has worked out so well for us. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. I really like the experiences that we've been able to have on it. You could definitely cheese with this, you could definitely do a lot of crazy things, but I don't know, for how we use it, I really enjoy it, especially if you try to keep it within like the feel of Valheim itself. Like this has been I love Valheim Raft.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen a couple of builds from people who like they go in a completely different direction, and it looks really fun. But I like what we've created here for sure.
Yeah. And guys, let's not forget our flying machine. Whoa, here we go. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
Yeah, who could forget? We definitely got the raft mod here. There it is, the raft tucked underneath, and you can enable flying, and it definitely that definitely made for a really fun adventure. And we're gonna come back to this pretty soon after we get Motor's ability, because then we'll be able to control the wind, and that's gonna open up a whole nother crazy adventure in this game for us. But yeah, guys, raft mod. It's been a lot of fun. I really like Valheim Raft mod. All right. Next up on the mod list here, we have the Monsternomicon.
Oh yeah.
So I love the variety of creatures. I feel like Valheim has a lot of creatures in it already, and I feel like there's a lot more coming. But while we're waiting, it's a lot of fun actually to have all of these new creatures to explore and to run into in the world. I know the ice golem is the one that sticks out in my head right now. That one seems a little out of place, but it's also really awesome and intimidating.
Yeah, I didn't know you never know what to expect unless you go through and look at each individual creature file. So I recommend just installing the mod, going about your day as normal, and you'll be surprised.
Yeah, the butterflies, the moths. There's a lot of different things that mod introduces, and I don't know. I've had a lot of fun running into a lot of the different creatures and things out on the ocean. It's just things you don't expect, especially if you've already played through the game by yourself in vanilla, or even with friends in vanilla. Just adding that in, you're just so confident. Like, oh, let's go sail out on the ocean. Let's just go sailing. That's no big deal.
Yeah, yeah. No, a big part of buying a this early access game for me was I guess I had low expectations, and then when I was sailing sailing out on the ocean, and I ran into, say, the serpent for the first time. I had no idea serpents were the game, and it just blew me away. And then I ran into the leviathan, the thing with the chitin on its back. um, I was like, I can't believe I thought that oceans were empty. So when you discover the Mistlands or the Ashlands, and there's totally new creatures, it just brings back that old feeling of like, whoa, oh, there's something else here for me to explore, to be threatened by. So
Yeah, no, definitely. That's part of Valheim's charm is all the adventure, and this just kind of it just brings a little bit of that flair back. And there's still a couple things. I know there were those like ghost hooded shady dudes we ran into right on the edge of the Mistlands that I'm terrified of now. I don't even want to go near those again.
that gave me feels of just like having read, being like a Lord of the Rings fan or something. I was like, we're in this strange new forest, and then we're immediately attacked by hooded humanoid figures. I felt like it just reminded me of like a very Tolkien feeling of like, what, whose territory have we invaded here? Are they elves? Are they foe? They're definitely foes. They dispatched us quickly.
Yeah, no, they were definitely
So
tough. I mean, we made everything tougher though, guys. We've buffed everything. Couple notes though before we move on from Monsternomicon. If you're gonna try Monsternomicon, it's gonna take a little finagling, little mashing up, little jumping back and forth. Some of the files are on Nexus, some of the files are on Thunderstore. So you'll have to do a little. I've got a little bit of instruction on the page on my video, with all the mod lists. But just in case you guys are wondering, we're just gonna point out here. The files labeled triple R. If you look up Monsternomicon, they're gonna be found in the Thunderstore. And I think that's most of the creatures. It's themselves actually.
yes, and I would install those. I got those working by installing those manually. It's as easy as dragging files from one to the other, which if you go to the Thunderstore page, it will tell you which files to drag where. I don't recommend using two different mod loaders. I know that Thunderstore has its own mod loader. I've had some conflicts there that mess with performance, or they just don't work together.
Yeah, so if you're gonna try and get this to work, guys, go ahead, back up your saves, be careful, and good luck to you. We got it to work, and I'm sure you can too. It's not super difficult.
Yeah.
Alright, so next mod on the list I'd like to tell you guys about that we think is definitely worth a mention is creature level and loot control. I really love this one. This mod really, I feel like this just gives you a lot of freedom to create the kind of experience in the game that you want. I know my first playthrough in Valheim, and guys, take this with a grain of salt. This is just me, yeah. Anyway, I thought Vanilla Valheim was a little easy, and I loved what we've done here in Modheim and making all of the game much more difficult. We've got the monsters hitting harder, more health, and I don't know. I like that experience. I like that I was able to do that.
Yeah, and it once you play through the game, and then you say you want to start another playthrough, Greylings, Grey Dwarves, they're not so much of a challenge anymore. Next, I guess next, even with this challenge, I don't think next are, or like, even with this mod, I don't think next are a challenge. But
Yeah, no.
I wasn't caught off guard by difficulty until I encountered, say, like a 2-star wolf in vanilla Valheim. But with creature level and loot control, you see a 4-star Grey Dwarf brute coming over the hill. Not only is its health is increased, its damage is increased per star. The mod also has a setting that I think is fun, where it increases the creature's size per star, and it just surprises you. It adds a new dynamic to the game, both in look, but it also in how you play. It just, changes the difficulty up a little bit.
Yeah, I really do love the increased sizes. That's really shocked me several times in the game. Just seeing some towering gray door lurking in the dark, or a giant neck. Like it's just you don't expect it. And we have seen a couple of like bigger trolls, guys, just giant, absolutely giant trolls. No, I really love this mod. This one really, this is really awesome. And this is also the mod that lets you add all of the affixes.
Oh yeah, yeah. You've got. I mean, you get. You see a fire-infused, let's say, skeleton, and it hits you, and all of a sudden you're on fire, or it's cold, and your stamina is sapped, you're moving slower, or I think the one that caught me off guard the most was killing anything poison infused explodes into poison, and now you have to, even if you don't get hit by the monster itself, you're still having to deal with that extra little bit of difficulty.
Yeah, I think for me, splitting was the most shocking. You're already fighting something difficult or tough, or just something you don't want to deal with, something you think you're just going to get rid of, and then suddenly there's more. And it's not my favorite.
Oh yeah, and splitting, the way that it stacks on itself. So say you're fighting a 3-star troll.
Oh yeah.
You kill it. There's 2-star trolls now. You kill those, and then 4 1-star trolls. It gets a little out of hand, but it's really fun.
And this mod also introduces all of the affixes to bosses and stars to bosses, and it just, I don't know, that just makes everything a little more exciting, because we all know how the boss fights are going to go at this point pretty much. So having that little random chance to have a tougher boss, or a healing boss, or a twin boss is a huge, I don't know, it's really exciting. It's really exciting to get into that.
That alone can change. It makes something as easy as Eikthyr turn into a threat. I can start up a new playthrough in Valheim, pick up, you gather some flint, you've got your spear. I can take on Eikthyr near the very beginning of the game, but not with this mod. It makes someone, a boss like him, the starter boss, like almost the tutorial boss. It makes him a challenge that you have to get over, instead of a speed bump that you just walk over.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of making the bosses harder, guys, hard bosses is actually another mod that we both really love. It's got the stamp of approval. But hard bosses doesn't necessarily change the health or stats like creature level and loot control. What it really does is it adds various phases to the boss fights, which I find really exciting. As the health of the boss decreases and as the fight goes on, the AI changes, and the structure of the battle changes. Just adds a little more variation to the fights, and it's really exciting. I think that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, which I think is, I appreciate what loot control does on its own, but whenever I want to experience something new in the game, and have more interaction with the game, health and damage only changes your interaction so much, but the boss doing different things forces you to play differently, which it adds a different kind of fun.
Yeah, I really love the different things that it makes the bosses do. So far we've seen Eikthyr, at a certain point after battling him for a bit, he starts doing like a lightning charge at you, really just like zips across the ground and just covers that distance between you so quick. And you just, I don't know, the first time we fought him, I didn't expect it. It was nice to be surprised again.
Yeah. And the Elder is such a fun fight. I think thematically on its own, it's really fun. But once we were surrounded by dozens of gray dwarves, and I understood that the mod had allowed him to spawn, he created gray dwarf spawners. I was really pleased. It wasn't just me versus, or us versus the boss. It was mitigating entirely new factors that we needed to beat him.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a keeper. I really think that's a lot of fun. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Next up on the list is Better Trader. This is another one that's definitely made the cut. Like it's up there in my favorites list. It just adds so much interaction, I guess. Haldor was awesome and really exciting to discover before, but you know, you really only need to buy a couple of things from him, and then maybe some fishing bait, which is fine. But being able to interact with him a lot more with this mod is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and with the extra options with Haldor, it changes the balance of the game a little bit, where gold becomes way more important. You can go, I mean, if you wanted to farm up some gold or some coin, I guess, and you could jump ahead in progression a little bit with buying what you need for more advanced crafting tables, or just better weapons, better gear. Some of them, though, it's not so cut and dry. You might need to go on some quests. You might need to find some treasure. It forces a bit more interaction with the world and a bit more exploration, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, speaking of that, let's go ahead and open up the menu for Haldor here, guys. Yeah, see, he's got, he's got coins that you can give him, but he's also got forest tokens, iron tokens, and gold tokens. And they're all from bounties, and that's probably my favorite thing that he's added. These bounties are awesome. I love having them around the world. I like going out and having to get these special quest items for these more rare rewards here, because you can. At the bottom of all of this lists, guys, they've got, look at legendary iron sledge, but it takes a few of these gold bounty tokens, which I'm assuming, I think they're some of the more difficult to find. I only have one in my bounty list right now that we could potentially go get. So, like Timely said, it just provides a lot more interaction with the world.
Yeah, and it is, I believe it's fully integrated with, say, things like loot control, where if you get a bounty, it's going to send you out against a harder creature.
Right, yeah. No, I'm excited. I like hunting these down. We should definitely go and hunt more bounties pretty soon. Guys, the treasure maps are fun. We've bought several things from the store, including everything from food to crafting material. I even bought some ice cream a little while ago from him because he had it on sale pretty cheap, and I just couldn't pass up that little stamina buff for a little while,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about buying some obsidian from him, because I think for as far as enchanting goes, it would be fun to start augmenting our gear.
Oh, augmenter. Things I still don't know about. We still have so much to cover, guys. Just when I think Modheim can't throw anything new at me, it continuously does. Yeah, you can buy and sell everything from him. So I think it adds a lot. I think it does. I think the prices could be adjusted, and I'm not sure if you can do that in the mod or not, but I really enjoy it. I think it's something that should stick around. That's really cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Next, I think Timely wanted to bring up epic loot.
Yeah, it would be it'd be a shame not to, considering that so many of the mods that we've talked about are either complemented by it directly or indirectly. And if you're familiar with any of the loot-driven games that starts back with Diablo, you've got your Destiny, your what's another good? Borderlands. That was another game.
Yeah, definitely board. Yeah.
Yeah. It adds that to Valheim, and the mod creators have done a great job of integrating things that would be specific to Valheim, like slow fall, or there's stamina regen, stuff that affects you whenever your health is low, and it affects things like the trader. He has a gambling game where you spend maybe a little bit extra coin to get a chance at a legendary item, and then some of these legendary items, they can be part of set bonuses, which again that goes back to Diablo. It works well with creature level and loot control. You can make monsters just pour loot at you, or restrict it. There's something else that when we were talking about augmenting gear, that is epic loot, but it's a mod that just complements a few of the other ones. If you're increasing the difficulty of your game with creature level and loot control, depending on how much how much more difficult you make it, you might want gear that buffs you to be able to handle them. Um, it's not always going to work like that. You're going to get some gear that just doesn't fit, and you'll just have to go out and find more.
Yeah, I can't deny it adds a lot of variety. It adds a lot of it adds just a lot of utility, and I will admit I think in our playthrough I think it's definitely necessary. We need some of those buffs to help us survive with the difficulty we have. But guys, viewers, subscribers, I'm just gonna be honest with you. This one didn't make my cut. It's not one of my favorites. I know it probably is a lot of yours. It is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, but I could definitely see a game balanced without it and still have a lot of fun. Like I
Oh,
don't know.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, and I definitely love I love throwable. Obviously, throwable weapons are my thing. That's like the best thing ever. I love that, and obviously that's part of Epic Loot. So don't get me wrong, it's still a great mod, and I love it to death. But I'm just giving you my opinion. That's what you wanted, right?
Kind of want to see you get a hammer with throwable and recalling.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I would dye my hair blonde. We'd become Thor. It would be a thing.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. Yeah, no, it is a great mod. That's an amazing one.
So another mod that it isn't really necessary, not until you start tacking on all these other mods that they start filling up your inventory, and inventory management in Valheim in just vanilla is a key part of the game. And it forces you to make a lot of important decisions. But whenever you're so bogged down by all this loot that you're getting, maybe there's creatures that drop extra materials that are modded into the game. You just want like a little extra space. There's other ways to increase to just like straight increase your inventory, but equipment slots and equipment and quick slots. It adds about eight new spaces, which, if you think about it, is just it's a row that's freed up in your inventory, but it gives you equipment slots for your head, chest, legs, your cloak, and whatever utility you have. If it's the belt, what is the name of that there? The Megan Yord, um, or the wishbone.
Or the
It
Verger
gives you,
circlet.
yeah, it gives you slots for those, and then it also gives you 3 quick keys that you can press that aren't attached to the 1, 2, 3, 4, and I use them for my building stuff, or just like I've got my hammer, my hoe, and pickaxe there. I've seen some people use it for their like quick potions. You want to be able to heal yourself really quickly, and not have it on your 1, 2, 3.
I'm showing it off right
But
now as you're explaining it, and I use it for food actually, 3 meals, and it just keeps that out of my inventory. It is handy.
yeah. Not I wouldn't say it's necessary for if you're just doing like a low modded setting, if your inventory is not bogged down with lots of extra gear that's dropping. But it's I think it makes me think of like your Skyrims or whatever, where you've got your bag for your for regular items, but then you've got stuff that you have equipped on you.
Yeah, it definitely is an awesome mod. It hasn't made my personal favorite list, but I will say that for playing with our settings, it is handy because inventory management does become much more difficult because you want to keep bringing home those extra pieces, and everything's dropping. So with Epic Loot, everything's dropping so much extra stuff all the time. You really do clutter up. I really like the backpacks for that. Little honorable mention there for the backpacks.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely, I think, instead of just giving yourself straight more inventory. Not that these are. I know you can do that with Valheim Plus, but this feels more natural. The quick slots. It feels like a utility belt, and then, like you said, just equipping the armor. Like, I can't deny that either. Like, you should be wearing it. Having it take up space in the inventory is a little cumbersome, but I don't mind so much. But that's a really nice mod. It is a very nice addition, especially if you're playing with Epic Loot here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Next on the list is Plant Everything. I haven't messed around with this as much as Timely, and I really need to. But I really like Plant Everything. It just really makes it makes everything just feel a little more natural. Look at the vines he's got growing on the little portal shack back here. And I always love the ability with the cultivator to make the grass come back on the ground, but this adds a whole new level. You can add these bushes, you can add these I don't mean to break your bushes there, but yeah, you can add dandelions, you can add the normal in-game just, shrubbery.
Rubber.
Shrubbery.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to completely break the game. Where, I mean, you see that I've planted a nice little row of berries here. Normally, you don't want to do that in base Valheim, because the game is about movement. You don't want to live a completely sedentary life. But you can balance these things where, it might cost you 5 or so berries to plant one of these, and they only give you one every couple of days. So it comes with like a cost versus reward that you can balance for yourself. Same with things like mushrooms. I mean, the idea of making a little mushroom farm just really appeals to me. It's nice to see these little things like around your a fortification that you've made.
Yeah, I know I've been trying to make a mushroom farm since the beginning of the game. I always wanted it to just be like a small dark room, and eventually they would just start spawning. That would be cool. But yeah, I really like the idea of balancing it so that you do. Like, the payout is almost not I don't want to say not worth it, but the payout is obviously like extremely long term, as opposed to just running around and collecting them every couple of days in big bushels. But I like having them around the base. I like being able to plant them even just for looks. And there's a lot of other things you can plant, guys. Tons of stuff. I think it lets you literally plant everything, like the title suggests. Any kind of little tree from the plains or anywhere, honestly. What do we got? Toss.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've got that's a plains bush there. You can. The devs only just recently added the ability to plant birch saplings. They finally drop, birch seeds.
Right.
That was in before, but you can go. I mean, you can plant oak.
Ancient.
There's pine.
Can we do? Are there ancient seeds now? I think there are.
There are. Well, I don't know if it's in the base game or not. I'm not sure. Maybe there are.
I might be crossing my wires on that one, guys.
Yeah. You can plant. Once we get up to it, we can plant cloudberries or blue mushrooms. I don't think made it. Blue mushrooms. These are what yellow mushrooms were originally supposed to be, and then they changed them to yellow.
Right.
I've seen some people do some pretty fun stuff. They'll use these as neon lights.
That's cool.
And what else? Here's a small fir tree.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to decorate. Yeah, Timely's done an amazing job out at our bone mass outpost, guys. I kind of want to take you out there and show you what he's been able to do out there, because he really manicured the lawn out there. I never thought the swamps could be so comfortable. So I know in the montage you guys saw me up there building that big house, and you saw me put that together. But while I was doing that, Timely was down here doing this. Look at how manicured everything. I mean, so does Plant Everything let you change the size of things too? Because I noticed this is a much bigger blue mushroom.
Yeah. It has one option for the big glowing mushroom. I've played with this mod for a couple of months now, and it wasn't originally in the mod, and I guess the dev just thought it would be nice to add.
I like it. I mean, it adds a little bit of ambience. That's really cool. I like that it's placeable too. Like, if you could change the size of everything, that'd be a little much for maybe not, but I don't know. But guys, doesn't this look nice? Like, just being able to place, because you placed all these bushes. I mean, you guys saw it when we got here. We cleaned this place out. We shaped it up. So all this grass, all of these bushes, Timely's placed. It adds so much more when you're able to just kind of like position the normal in-game bushes and stuff, rather than have to either like get rid of them permanently or just build around them and hope nothing ever knocks them down.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, and last on our list of awesome favorites is the slope hit fix. Now, this is a tiny thing, but it makes such a huge difference, especially for me personally. Like, I know I've had a lot of situations where hunting locks, especially in the late game of my first playthrough, I love to hunt locks, but they can smash the ground out from underneath you, just like trolls. And I really like the ability to look up or down and be able to hit things. It's a small thing. It's not entirely necessary, but it definitely in my playthroughs, in my play style, and the way I want to do things, I think it really benefits. It really helps. It made a difference.
Yeah, it affects other things like you can be chopping down on a log. Just if you're on a hill, and you don't have to be completely level with something to start chopping at it. Whether that's an enemy, whether it's just something in the world that you wanna remove. I think it even affects your pickaxe angle a little bit. I know that I've had some fun looking, being able to look up with the at gear and poking a death skeeto out of the sky instead of having to wait for it to get to my level. So it feels good, I think, to have your camera angle change what you can hit.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it does affect a lot of other things just slightly. Being able to, like you said, being able to harvest, looking. I don't know. It's a very small, subtle thing, but I think it made a huge impact. Just turning that on, I really loved it.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, that kind of wraps up our top 10 favorites, but we got to throw out some honorable mentions because while they didn't make it into the top list, they're still really awesome mods that deserve a lot of attention, and I think they're really fun, and I would still love to see them, just incorporated because they're just, I don't know, I think they're helpful, I think they're fun, I think they add a lot. So, a couple honorable mentions here. Yeah, I'm a great big fan of speedy paths. Speedy paths is something that I really enjoy. I really like the idea of the path and tool getting that kind of a buff where if you take the time to really mark out a path between things, you do get a bit of a speed buff. Like, it makes it easier to travel on this, and that's what it's for. Me personally, I would probably tweak it a little differently. Maybe like a 10% buff for the normal path and 20 or 25. I don't know. I'm not even thinking it out, but 40% bonus for stone and for this cobbled path that we're sitting above here. That seems a little much for me, but I still really love the idea of I took the time to carve this path, and it deserves a little more of a purpose. Like I really love that.
Yeah, it feels really good when you start building your world and maybe you start connecting some of the landmarks that you found, and you start moving down this path. It's pretty noticeable when you're moving a bit quicker, and that work that you put into it is rewarded.
Yeah, definitely an awesome mod. Really love that one.
And last but not least, especially for an honorable mention, is one of my favorites, Valheim Plus. If you've noticed anything wonky about our camera angle, where we're sitting, this is the tip of the iceberg, or the what Valheim Plus allows. I think its main feature is the advanced building mode, where you're able to press a hotkey, freeze an object in space, and then manipulate it beyond what the vanilla game allows you to do. You can change it on its, you can rotate it on each axis, its X, Y, and Z axis, and change its position without having to manipulate it with where your character is standing. So it really frees up some of your building. It's what allowed me to get a lot of the different angles on our airship, on our the regular ship on Graveler. And you'll see its effect, its influence on just a couple of things that I built. I knowing that I can get something just right, it feels really good. And besides that, it allows you to tweak nearly every facet of the game that isn't already covered by other mods. For everything from how fast do you want your kiln and smelter to work, or do you want to craft from chests, or do you want the way that whenever you fire an arrow from bow, what's its trajectory like? Do you want it more realistic? Do you want it more floaty? Nearly everything you can tweak it in the game.
Yeah, it is pretty extensive. I really like what it offers up, and I really like the building aspect. I haven't messed with it much myself, but guys, you can see the build very, you can see Valheim Plus really evident in our flying ship and in Graveler. Timely really put some awesome work in on those, and that's how we got that awesome rounded look on Graveler too.
Yeah, and a tip, it's not intuitive at first. You're not once you are using the advanced building mode, you're using more of your keys than you are the mouse. You might use the mouse wheel to rotate things, but you're using a lot of your arrow keys on your keyboard to move things around than you are using the mouse to place it. And there are some mods that we've added that we haven't seen the effects of yet. One of those is Odin Flight, keyword being flight. Keep a lookout for that. It's going to add new dimensions to the game and new ways for us to die and explore.
Lots of dying, lots of exploring. It should be a lot of fun. I'm super excited for that one.
Yeah.
Another one that we'll be introducing here in a little while is reworked armor. Just a simple little mod to let you keep upgrading early game armor sets. So, you'll be able to keep leveling leather, keep leveling troll hide, and if you want to wear that late game, you just keep leveling it with later game materials, and eventually you'll just be able to wear that and have like higher armor rating and wear what you want. It's a simple mod, but I really like the idea of it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a direct buff. It almost makes troll armor overpowered once you get that stealth bonus.
That is kind of true.
It can be a big tanky troll armor that lets you sneak around. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. I'm excited to mix and match, get a little bit of fashion souls going on, where it doesn't matter what you wear anymore once you're that good. And guys, the last thing we want to talk about today is what we plan to do after we've kind of beaten Valheim, because you can get to the end of content right now where you beat Yagluth, and after that it's really just about the building, and as much as we love building, we had something else in mind.
Yeah, what if we just played the game again, increased the difficulty, and created our very own New Game Plus? Still yet to be determined how, in what way we want to tweak it, but we want to keep our current characters, move them to a new world, new exploration, harder monsters, harder bosses, and try it again.
Yeah, and also new mods, guys. Like I said, we've got these planned mods coming, but that's stuff that we planned for this series. We'll try to introduce some new mods into New Game Plus, so be sure to leave anything that you'd like to see in the comments below and let us know, if it gets enough upvotes. I don't promise that we'll add absolutely everything. It depends on what works with what and what excites us and what you guys want to see. So let us know in the comments below, and when we get around to it, New Game Plus should be quite an adventure, quite a challenge, and I'm excited for it even now, even though we have so much left to do before we get there.
Oh yeah, it should be a ride.
But anyway, guys, I guess I'm going to go ahead and let that wrap up the episode today. Lots of fun talking about all our favorite mods. What are your favorite mods? Do me a favor and just let us know in the comments below, and, like I said earlier, let us know what you'd like to see in New Game Plus whenever we get around to that. That'll take a while, guys. Just, hang with us. We've got so much left to do in this world. We haven't even crossed swords with Bone Mass yet.
Yeah, he's a pretty good halfway point, I think. And then it's, no pun intended, all uphill from there.
Absolutely. So, lots of stuff to get into, guys. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this one. Hope you guys are having a great day. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll catch you in the next episode. By the way, be sure to subscribe if you want to continue the adventures in Modheim.